Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a great week. This is Amanda Phillips and I'm going to be sharing out for our Module 1 demonstration about UDL. And in addition to defining and sharing some examples, I'm really going to try to connect some of my own experiences and kind of future goals, how to bring UDL into my own teaching. So what is meant by UDL? In general, I took away that it is an approach to teaching that gives all students equal access and opportunities to take risks, try, engage, and succeed regardless of their learning preferences. UDL puts an emphasis on identifying and removing barriers from our teaching instruction, as well as materials and programs. It pulls from brain research and new media to form the following goals. Have a little visual here for us. Provide multiple means of engagement, the why of learning. Provide multiple means of representation, what our learners are learning. And also provide multiple meanings of action and expression, how they are learning. The purpose of UDL is to ensure thinking, teaching, and learning that is of equal opportunity for all. At its core, UDL means that an educator designs learning experiences in flexible ways to meet the needs of individual learners. It is the role of us, the teacher, to prepare the learning space with flexibility. This can be anything from flexible seating to means, methods, and the materials that we use and our students use. According to my research within Maryland Learning Links, UDL is based on theories that everyone, those with learning disabilities and those without, show differences in the way that their brain networks function. This brain activity is unique, almost like our fingerprints, and our teaching needs to reflect that. UDL was developed in response to this and asks that curriculum be designed for the diversity of learners to whom it is targeted for. Examples of UDL in the real world include door handles labeled push or pull, closed captioning on the television, not only helping the hearing impaired, but also those with processing challenges, or just your regular person who can't hear their favorite football game in a loud bar, or if the kids are busy in the living room and you want to be able to see what characters are saying on your favorite sitcom. When you press the walk signal to cross through a crosswalk in downtown DC, you not only see the walking symbol, but you also hear a recording say that it's time to cross and also the street that you're crossing. And a lot of the crosswalks in the city now also have blinking lights, so that it's also a symbol and kind of a warning for cars that are driving and also people who are walking. So these multiple representations help reach all citizens, thinking about your walkers and your drivers and not just looking at one person. When we think about UDL in our classrooms, one example that I use and continue to increase usage of are flexible seating and workspaces. So having quiet areas for independent work, group tables for collaboration. I have noise canceling headphones for my children who are really sensitive to sound, pillows for those kids who just need to stretch out and work on the ground, clipboards for those who like to kind of curl up and work on their lap, standing desks for my movers and stretchers. Flexibility can also appear through assignments, so rather than asking students to write a written response after reading their third chapter of Wonder, giving them some choices. So choices that I would include would be a writing sample or typing an essay using speech to text, creating a PowerPoint or slides and sharing in Google Classroom to receive feedback, writing a poem, creating a script and acting out a scene, or writing a song. Students can show their understanding in a way that motivates them and connects to their learning style while also showing their depth of understanding. As previously shared, there are three principles in which UDL is rooted in: engagement, representation, and action and expression. The purpose of the engagement principle is to play the key role in learner engagement. This is vital for learning. The principle belongs to the affective network of the brain that focuses on the why. Examples of engagement include class discussions around a topic that relates to the community, creating a mind map to activate background knowledge, watching a video to build understanding and get their attention to set the stage, or even beginning a KWL chart. The purpose of the representation principle is for the teacher to present the skill or topic using several means and methods in order for all students to better understand and apply the new information. The principle belongs to the recognition network, the what of learning. Examples of representation include teaching through discussions, writing, playing videos, displaying images, providing opportunities for independent thinking and collaboration, as well as inquiry. It is important for the teacher to present material with a variety of means, ensuring that all learners of all styles have equal access to content. The purpose of the action and expression principle is to provide learners with different opportunities to express their knowledge and understanding. This principle belongs to the strategic network, the how of learning. It is imperative that we provide a variety of ways for students to show what they have learned and apply it. We can do this through offering choices for students. Examples of action and expression include writing an article for our blog using Blogger, creating a video of a story using Storybird app, creating a presentation in Google Slides, PowerPoint, or Prezi, writing and recording a song, creating a narration and dialogue using VoiceThread or Screencast-O-Matic, developing an infographic with images and short texts, or creating an advertisement or some type of online game. This relates back to the underlying neuroscience theory through recognizing that our brains are really goal-driven. If we don't make learning goals explicit to our students, they have no way of knowing what the target is, how to reach it, or, most importantly, when they have reached it. Understanding these key facts about the learning brain not only helps educators in designing challenging, high-quality learning opportunities, but they're also incredibly important for our learners to understand as well. The more we understand about our own learning and how it happens, the further we advance towards the ultimate goal of becoming expert learners. UDL helps learners through providing clear goals, activating interest and motivation, delivering content through a variety of means, and encouraging multiple ways for students to show and display depth of understanding. Again, this allows all students to access material and find success in showing what they have learned and how they can apply their understanding on non-routine tasks. The UDL guidelines and checkpoints are used as tools for implementing the UDL framework. The UDL guidelines can be used by teachers, curriculum developers, researchers, parents, or really anyone who wants to impact a learning environment. These guidelines offer suggestions that are based in research that can be applied to any subject to ensure that all can access and engage in meaningful, challenging, and developmentally appropriate learning tasks. Under engagement, the why of learning, there are 3 guidelines. Provide options for sustaining effort and persistence, and provide options for recruiting interest, provide options for sustaining effort and persistence, and finally, provide options for self-regulation. The purpose of recruiting interest is to engage learners' cognition to make learning accessible for all. It is important for teachers to remember that their interests are ever-changing and ever-growing. Examples of recruiting interest include making learning relevant by connecting it to current events, social media, or cultural relevance. Teachers can provide options for recruiting interest through empowering learners to take charge of their own learning, connecting learning to meaningful experiences, and fostering a safe place to take risks. The purpose of providing options for sustaining effort and persistence is so learners can regulate their attention and affect in order to sustain the effort and focus that such learning will require. It is important to note that learners differ in their ability to self-regulate, and this can reflect in their motivation. A key instructional goal is to build the individual's skill in self-regulation and self-determination that will equalize such learning opportunities. Examples of this are for students staying grounded in the goals and why they matter. This might look like a teacher putting the learning goal in kid-friendly or learner-friendly language written on the board or in a place that students can constantly coming back to. It's also up to the teacher to be referring to the learning goal and making sure that the learners are able to make that connection constantly between the content and the skills that they're learning and relating it back to the focus. Other examples include modeling and using flexible thinking and tools, cultivating a community of learners, curiosity and collaboration, as well as focusing on the process over the product. That effort matters. That's something in my grade 6 math class that we talk about all the time. Process over product. The final solution, the final answer means very little. It's how we get there. Did we show multiple strategies? Can we explain our thinking? Use multiple representations? How we're able to illustrate what we do understand rather than just illustrate an answer. The purpose of self-regulation is to strategically modulate one's emotional reactions or states in order to be more effective at coping and engaging with the environment. This is a critical aspect of human development. Those teachers and settings that address self-regulation explicitly are most successful in applying the UDL principles through modeling and prompting in a variety of methods. Examples of providing opportunities for self-regulation include setting personal learning goals. This can be with students having their own SMARTer goals, so being specific, measurable, and something that students can be coming back to regularly. And I have found my personal experience having those goals labeled and visible throughout the year, that can kind of tie into responsive classroom as well, will really help keep students grounded and keep that goal fresh. Other examples include developing and managing responses and focusing on learning from their mistakes. A specific student of mine this year in their end of year grade 7 math reflection talked about how they came into grade 7 thinking that mistakes were to highlight what they didn't know, and now that she's walking away from grade 7 viewing mistakes as opportunities for learning. And I just think that is one of the most powerful reflections that we can have our students kind of transform their thinking from viewing mistakes as a wrongdoing into an opportunity for new understanding. Under representation, the what of learning, there are also 3 guidelines. The first is to provide options for perception. The purpose of providing options for perception is to ensure that key information is equally perceptible to all learners by providing the same information through different means like vision, hearing, or touch, providing information in a format that will allow the user to adjust, like text that can be enlarged or sounds that can be amplified. These representations not only ensure that information is accessible to learners with particular sensory disabilities, but also easier to access and comprehend for many others. Examples of this include using flexible materials with settings that can be adjusted based on needs, like in Google Docs, whether that's typing or using speech to text. Another example would be just using things other than sound and voice. So whether that's kids using art, creating a poster, a slideshow, or a 3D model. The second guideline here is to provide options for language and symbols. An important instructional strategy is to ensure that alternative representations are provided not only for accessibility, but for clarity and comprehension across all learners. Examples of providing options for language and symbols include constructing meaning from words, symbols, and numbers using different representations. One strategy that I use more so in math, but even as a language arts teacher in my past experience, is called the rule of 4. So that's having to show a word, a symbol, a math problem, whatever it is, in 4 different ways. So in math, that could be showing a problem using numbers, a model, a picture, and words, which really helps respect styles of different learners, but also it helps as the teacher for us to understand the depth of their understanding. Other examples include making learning come alive with simulations, graphics, activities, and videos, and making sure that text and symbols don't get in the way of a learning goal. So a word wall with pictures and words and examples might also come in handy here.